commentary highlights of the Madrid final matches of the Madrid tennis tournament, and the first commentary highlights of the two finals, Arina Sabalenka v Coco Gauff. And Coco Gauff serving. Coco Gauff with a wide serve, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand return to the right. And then Coco Gauff with forehand to the left, and Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand to right, and Coco Gauff returns with forehand to the left. And then Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand to the left with power, and it's a winner. Coco Gauff with a point to maybe potentially hold the first game on serve match. Coco Gauff with a central box serve, Arina Sabalenka forehand block turn, therefore Coco Gauff with a forehand slice shot centre, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to the right. And then Arina Sabalenka falls net, Coco Gauff with a return, hits top net, just over net, but then Arina Sabalenka by the net strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. Arina Sabalenka with two breaks of serve in this set. 15-love. Arina Sabalenka with a serve centre of the box, and Coco Gauff strikes a backhand return to the right, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand to the left, and Coco Gauff returns, striking a forehand to the right, and Arina Sabalenka backhand return, then Coco Gauff with a backhand to the left, and Arina Sabalenka backhand to the right, and Coco Gauff strikes a backhand to the right, then Arina Sabalenka forehand to centre, and Coco Gauff forehand drop shot, and it's a winner. So Arina Sabalenka with 2 set points. Coco Gauff 5-3. Arina Sabalenka in the first set, rather. Coco Gauff serving, but 2 set points for Arina Sabalenka. Coco Gauff serving 15-40, and Coco Gauff with a centre of the box serve. Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand to the left with power on return serve, and Coco Gauff with backhand return to centre, and Arina Sabalenka forehand drop shot to left, and then Coco Gauff onto it, strikes a backhand to the left, and it's a winner to save set point. Another set point for Arina Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff with a serve centrally, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand return to the left, and Coco Gauff with backhand drop shot to the left, just out, and that's game in the first set. Arina Sabalenka 6-3. So Arina Sabalenka serving at the start of the second set, first point in the second set. Arina Sabalenka centre to wide serve, and Coco Gauff with a forehand return to the left, and then backhand to backhand, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to right, and Coco Gauff returns with backhand to left, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to the right with power, and it's a winner. Arina Sabalenka with a centre of the box serve, and Coco Gauff strikes a backhand return to left, and Arina Sabalenka backhand slice turn. Then Coco Gauff further forward strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 30-15. Arina Sabalenka with a serve centre, and Coco Gauff strikes a forehand return with a bit of power centre. Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to the left with a bit of power, and forehand to forehand. And Arina Sabalenka's forehand to the right, a bit of power. Coco Gauff backhand slice turn, and Arina Sabalenka to the net strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So 1-1 on serve in the second set. Arina Sabalenka serving, but it's love 40 and 3 break points for Coco Gauff in the second set. Arina Sabalenka with a centre of the box serve, and Coco Gauff strikes a forehand return to left, and Arina Sabalenka forehand to right, and Coco Gauff forehand to left, and Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand to right, and then Coco Gauff forehand slice to drop shot return, and Arina Sabalenka to it, and that with a bit of a backhand drop shot to the right and slice, but Coco Gauff onto it, strikes a forehand passing shot to the right by the net, and it's a winner. And Coco Gauff with a breaker serve on return in the second set. So 40-15, Coco Gauff serving. Coco Gauff with a breaker serve in the second set, and Coco Gauff with a serve essentially, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand return to the centre, and Coco Gauff with a shot, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes one backhand rather to the centre, then Coco Gauff returns striking a backhand to the left, and then Arina Sabalenka backhand slice turn slow net, and Coco Gauff further forward with forehand slice to the left, and it's a winner. And Coco Gauff maintains the breaker serve in the second set. 4-3 Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff with a breaker serve in the second set. 40-30. With Coco Gauff serving. Coco Gauff with a breaker serve in the second set. Coco Gauff with a centre of the box serve, and Arina Sabalenka for one return centre, and Coco Gauff strikes a backhand to the left, and Arina Sabalenka backhand slice turn, and further forward Coco Gauff strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. And Coco Gauff holds serve to still maintain the breaker serve in this second set. So 5-4 Coco Gauff, but 30-40 and a break point for Arina Sabalenka. Coco Gauff with a serve to the centre, and Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand to the centre, and Coco Gauff forehand return. And then Arina Sabalenka a bit further forward strikes a backhand to the right. And then Coco Gauff with a forehand return, and Arina Sabalenka a bit of a forehand half volley by the net. And Arina Sabalenka, and then Coco Gauff strikes a forehand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. So tie break in the second set. A breaker serve on return for the two players in the second set, and on serve at the end of the second set. So a second set tie break. Arina Sabalenka serving the first point of the second set tie break. Arina Sabalenka with a centre to wide serve. Coco Gauff strikes a forehand return a bit of power, and Arina Sabalenka forehand to the right centre, and Coco Gauff strikes a backhand to the right, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand to the left, forehand to forehand, and then forehand to forehand, and Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to the left with a bit of power, and Coco Gauff with a forehand slice turn, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand to the left, and Coco Gauff with a forehand slice turn, and Arina Sabalenka further forward with a forehand drop shot to the left. Coco Gauff onto it, strikes forehand to the left, and Coco Gauff in there, and then Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. So 2-love, Arina Sabalenka in tiebreak. Coco Gauff wide serve, Arina Sabalenka strikes forehand return to the left, and Coco Gauff forehand to the centre. Then Arina Sabalenka strikes a backhand to the right, and Coco Gauff returns with backhand to the right centre. Then Arina Sabalenka strikes a forehand to the right with a bit of power, and Coco Gauff with a backhand return. And then Arina Sabalenka further forward strikes a short angle backhand to the right, and it's a winner. 6-3, Arina Sabalenka in the tiebreak in the second set. 3 championship points in this match for Arina Sabalenka. Coco Gauff with a serve, misses 2 serves, and it's game, set and match. Arina Sabalenka by 2 sets to love, 6-3, 7-6, and Arina Sabalenka wins the tournament in Madrid. So the other Madrid tournament final commentary highlights of Casper Ruud v Jack Draper. Jack Draper break a serve up in the first set at 2-1. Jack Draper 15-all. Jack Draper with a central serve and Casper Ruud with a backhand return to the right, and Jack Draper strikes the forehand to left, and Casper Ruud with a backhand to the left, and then Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the right, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. 30-all. Jack Draper with a central serve, and Casper Ruud with a forehand return to right, and Jack Draper forehand to left, and Casper Ruud forehand to left, and Jack Draper then with shots to right, and Casper Ruud with a forehand return struck to the right with a bit on it. Jack Draper then with a forehand slice to the left, and Casper Ruud with a backhand slice to the left, and Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the left, and Casper Ruud with a backhand slice to the right. But then Jack Draper strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. Forehand struck with a bit of power to the right to finish and win that point for Jack Draper. So Casper Ruud serving 4-2 Jack Draper with a breaker serve in the first set at 15 love. Casper Ruud with central serve, and then Jack Draper with backhand return to centre, and then Casper Ruud with a drop shot to left, and Jack Draper onto it with a forehand, and it's a forehand passing shot to the right with the 2 players by the net, and it's a winner. Casper Ruud with a wide serve, 15-all. Jack Draper then with a backhand return, and then Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the left, and then Jack Draper with a return shot to the right, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and Jack Draper with a return shot, and Casper Ruud with forehand slice, and Jack Draper further forward strikes a forehand to the right, and Jack Draper net. But then Casper Ruud with a backhand passing shot to the right, and it's a winner. And that's quite a backhand passing shot winner to the right on return from Casper Ruud at the end of that point. So Casper Ruud serving 5-3 Jack Draper. Jack Draper with a breaker serve in the first set, and Casper Ruud with a wide serve, and Jack Draper with a backhand return centre, and Casper Ruud forehand to the left, and Jack Draper with a backhand to the left, and Casper Ruud with a backhand to the right. And then Jack Draper strikes a forehand to the right with a bit of power, and it's a winner. So 5-4 Jack Draper. Jack Draper break serve and Jack Draper serving, but it's 30-40 and a break point for Casper Ruud. Jack Draper with a wide serve and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand return to left, and Jack Draper shot and Casper Ruud with a forehand return to the centre. And Jack Draper strikes a shot to the right and Casper Ruud backhand slice return, and Jack Draper with shots left and Casper Ruud with a forehand to the right, and then Jack Draper strikes a backhand to left, and Casper Ruud strikes a Casper Ruud forehand to left, and Jack Draper backhand turn, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to left, and Jack Draper forehand slice turn, and it's just out, and Casper Ruud with a breaker serve on returner serve, and it's on serve in the first set. So Jack Draper serving, set point for Casper Ruud, 30-40. Jack Draper with a wide serve and a very wide serve. Casper Ruud with a backhand shot return. It's in. And Jack Draper forehand shot after that bit out. Game and first set, Casper Ruud. And what a returner serve from Casper Ruud on set point. Jack Draper hit a very good wide serve, but Casper Ruud with a backhand return and a spot-on backhand return with the ball in to the top right-hand corner. A backhand return from Casper Ruud, and a bit on that shot to win Casper Ruud the first set, 7-5. So 1-1 on serve in the second set. Casper Ruud serving. Casper Ruud with maybe potentially a point, maybe to hold serve. And Casper Ruud with a wide serve, and Jack Draper returns, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and Jack Draper then with a backhand return, and then Casper Ruud with an overhead smash, but then Jack Draper backhand return struck to the left, and it's a winner. Quite a backhand return struck to the left for a winner from Jack Draper after an overhead smash from Casper Ruud. So 3-3 on serve in this second set. Casper Ruud serving, but it's love 30, and Casper Ruud with a wide serve, and then Jack Draper with a backhand return, and then Casper Ruud a bit further forward with a forehand drive volley to the right, and it's just spot on. It's in for a winner. (15-42) break points for Jack Draper. Casper Ruud with a wide serve. Jack Draper strikes a backhand return, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the right, and Casper Ruud backhand return to left, but then Jack Draper strikes a forehand with power, and it's a winner, and it's a breaker serve for Jack Draper in the second set. So Casper Ruud serving, but it's 30-40 on the set point for Jack Draper to maybe potentially level the match at 1-1. Casper Ruud with wide serve. Jack Draper with a forehand return. And Casper Ruud with a forehand. Jack Draper backhand to the right. And Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, just out. And the match is level at 1-all. So Jack Draper serving at the start of the third and final set, 15-all. Jack Draper with a serve. Casper Ruud with a forehand return, and Jack Draper with a backhand serve, and Casper Ruud with a forehand drop shot to the right, and it's spot on, and it's a winner from Casper Ruud with a forehand drop shot to the right on that point. So 40-30, Jack Draper wide serve, and Casper Ruud with backhand return serve, and Jack Draper with forehand drop shots right. Casper Ruud onto it with backhand slice, and Casper Ruud net. Jack Draper backhand turn, and Casper Ruud with a forehand drop volley to the right, and it's a winner. Jack Draper's serve, Casper Ruud return with forehand, and Jack Draper with a backhand strike, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to left with a bit of power. And Jack Draper forehand slice turn, and Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and Casper Ruud net. But then Jack Draper strikes a backhand passing shot to the right, and it's a winner to hold serve. So 2-all on serve in the third and final set. Jack Draper serving. Jack Draper with central serve, and Casper Ruud with a backhand return, and then backhand Jack Draper to the right, then Casper Ruud with a backhand slice to the right, and Jack Draper with shot Casper Ruud net, and Casper Ruud with a volley shot, and Jack Draper onto it with forehand slice, but then Casper Ruud with a forehand volley to the right at the net, and it's a winner. Break point Casper Ruud. Jack Draper wide serve. Casper Ruud with a backhand return with a bit on it to the centre, then Jack Draper forehand bit on it to the left, and then Casper Ruud with a forehand to the right. And then Jack Draper with a backhand strikes to the right, and Casper Ruud returns, striking a backhand, and Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the left just out, and it's a breaker serve for Casper Ruud in the third and final set of this one. So Jack Draper serving 15-all, and Jack Draper with a central serving, and Casper Ruud with a backhand return, and then Jack Draper strikes a forehand to the right, and Casper Ruud returns with a forehand to the left, and Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the left with a bit of power, and then Casper Ruud with a backhand slice turn and forehand to the left, and Jack Draper, and Casper Ruud strikes a backhand. And Jack Draper shot, and Casper Ruud with a backhand slice turn. Jack Draper strikes a backhand to the right, a bit further forward, and it's a winner. So 5-4 Casper Ruud with a breaker serve in this third and final set, 30-love. And Casper Ruud with a wide serve, and then Jack Draper with a backhand return. And then Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and Jack Draper with a forehand a bit on its left, and then Casper Ruud with a forehand to the left, and Jack Draper returns, and forehand to the left from Casper, and Jack Draper with a backhand. Then Casper Ruud and Jack Draper with a shot, and then Casper Ruud with a backhand to the right, and Jack Draper with a forehand to the right, and Casper Ruud with a forehand to the left with a bit on it, and Jack Draper with a backhand return. And then Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So 3 championship points, Casper Ruud with a central serve, and Jack Draper with a forehand return, and Casper Ruud with a backhand struck to left, and Jack Draper strikes shots to right, and Casper Ruud with a forehand struck to the left, and Jack Draper returns. Then Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the left, and Jack Draper with a backhand return. Casper Ruud strikes another forehand to the left, and Jack Draper another backhand return. And then Casper Ruud strikes a forehand to the right with a bit of power. Jack Draper a bit of forehand on it, but the ball not any further after that. Game, set and match. Casper Ruud by 2-1, 7-5, 3-6, 6-4. And Casper Ruud wins the tournament in Madrid.